Well, let's get Steve Bruce's take on it, the former Newcastle United manager, Manchester United centre-half, who's been joining us throughout the Euros. Good afternoon, Steve.
Good afternoon, gents.
Wow.
Yeah. What did you make of that, Steve?
How did you watch from behind the sofa, like most of us, I guess, Steve?
Well, I'm out in Portugal on holiday at the moment, so I watched it from a rather rowdy sports bar, and the place erupted in the last minute, as you can imagine. But it was before then, I have to tell you, it wasn't very complimentary towards the team, I have to say.
Look, as an ex-manager, we were saying, or soon to be a game manager, who knows? When you're in that situation where everybody's saying you need to change it, and I imagine at St James's Park, the fans would make it pretty clear if they felt you needed to bring a sub on. In that moment, I mean, what is it like? Because there would have been a lot of pressure on Gareth to change it. What did you make of the fact he didn't?
Well, look, I think they made an impact, and a bit like the game before it too, especially in the game before last night. The subs made an impact, and last night, I think they did in particular. I mean, we're all saying, "Oh, he sent the big lad on from Brentford, and it's only a minute to go." Yet he had an impact in the extra time. I thought he was excellent and gives something a bit different. At the end of the day, we've scored from a long throw in, spectacular finish from the kid Bellingham, and we've got out of jail, haven't we? And we've seemed to say that too often, but we haven't seen England play well. I think that's the big disappointment from all of us at the moment. And the substitutions, yes, I think they've made a difference. Is it now time to give them a chance in this competition? Who knows? That's the conundrum I'm sure Gareth will face at the moment.
But it is interesting, Steve. He brought on Cole Palmer. Maybe he was going to bring him on anyway, but it seemed to be because Trippier was injured. Then he waited another 18 minutes. I mean, all of us, all the experts, all the non-experts,
like us,
everybody, like us. Just going, what are you sitting there for? What do you think's going to happen if you don't make these substitutions? It's hard to work out what his thinking is.
Well, as I said, ultimately we've left it late, but the substitutions worked. So the substitutions for me had an impact in the game, and that's what you need. I mean, we're all saying, look, I think the biggest problem we've got is the balance of the team, especially down the left-hand side, and we've all been saying it. It's very difficult. Trippier is a really top player, and I like him a lot. But on the left-hand side, especially in the last third, he has to keep coming back inside and move it sideways or backwards. He doesn't give us the natural width where somebody can go on the outside. And for me, that's been my biggest problem. For us to only have two shots, we scored twice, to only have two shots on goal, with the actual quality of players we've got, is I think that's why the frustration for all of us is asking the question of why are they not performing like we see them week in and week out in the Premier League.
Clearly, Luke Shaw hasn't got more than half an hour tops in him.
I don't think he's even got that in him. It made no sense not taking Chilwell. Odd.
That's gone, isn't it? So we've now got to find a solution, Steve. And we did see Bukayo Saka at left back and at left wing back at various times yesterday. Not someone he likes playing. He was very upfront about it before the game with Faker others. But he did a job for the team if his country needs him. I mean, do you think that's the solution? It seems to be the only solution. Someone who's naturally left-footed.
I said that. He played as a kid. He played on the left-hand side for Arsenal as a kid. I mean, God, as a kid, he's only 23 now, isn't he? But when he was in his younger days, he always played on the left-hand side. So it was interesting to see the substitutions that we made, because in the end, we went to a back three, really, and played with two wing backs. Now, that might suit. I don't think Gareth will adopt that, because the next game up against Switzerland, they do play with a three, and they play with 4 midfield players and 3 up top who are very, very dangerous. But for me, Saka would be the one that you would look at because of his natural ability to play and played there before, and ask him to do a job for the team.
And there is someone in Palmer who can fill the slot that he's currently in on the right side, isn't there?
Well, Palmer's been the one who's been excellent, hasn't he, when he has come on, and he was on the pitch for, he count extra time, he's on the pitch for an hour. So I'm sure all them questions will be going through Gareth's mind, is if to say now, I can't see him ripping it to bits, and saying, all right, we're going to start all over again. This is not working. I don't think that he'll ever even give that a thought. I think he'll stick with what he believes in. And let's be fair to the fella, he's got us to a semi-final of a World Cup and a European final. in the years gone by, but he's always had a pragmatic approach to it. Yesterday it was the last minute stuff, wasn't it? Where we're thinking, can we get a break? And we had that many attacking players on the pitch. It was good to see them get something out of the game and show a little bit of fight and determination, which I think they showed. It's just that we haven't played well.
How would you've got 45 minutes to save your job. You've got to be really stubborn. You've got to really think you know what you're doing. You believe in.
Well, have to have self-belief as a manager.
Isn't there a point though in anybody's life where you go, oh, "I've got that wrong. I've not been right about that." There's no shame in that.
That was my final question to Steve. How would you, if you'd come through that yesterday, Steve? If you were in the dugout and you came through that, 2 shots on target, a team you were expected not to beat easily, but certainly to beat and put in a better performance, and you've kind of got away with it. How are you viewing this next week before the next game against, as we've seen in Switzerland, a better side at the moment than we've come up against so far? You got away with one, or what are you looking to do?
If we're being brutally honest, have we got away with a couple?
Yeah. That's true.
Have we got away with a couple? We've got there. We've finished top of our group and we're in the quarterfinal, and really haven't struck a blow yet in terms of how we could potentially play. I'm sure if I was looking at it, I thought Menu, particularly in the first half, give us a little bit of control in the middle of the pitch. I thought that looked a far, far better balance. The one concern for me would be this one down the left-hand side where, how can I get Cole Palmer in the team? Xhaka going to left back opens up the space for him. And for me, that would be a change that I would be making. And wanting us to look a bit more going forward, because we're so pedestrian to try and get to the last third. I think we have to go from the back to the front a little bit quicker than what we're doing at the moment.
Good stuff, Steve. We'll hopefully catch up with you next Monday when we're in the semi-finals. Fingers crossed.
We're in the semi-finals. Let's hope so. Let's hope they're talking poorly again, but we're in the semi-finals.
That's
fantastic.
Right.
It's 1-1 and Pens. Going to Pens.
And by the way, what was it like in that bar? Did anybody recognise you yesterday?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, of course. There was calls. I was sitting next to an England great and Brian Robson too.
Fair enough.
Okay. I think even I'd spot you two sitting together.
Definitely.
Cheers, Steve. All the best.
Certainly, the beer was thrown everywhere when we scored. That's for sure.
Thanks a lot. There we are. There's Steve Bruce there out in Portugal.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.